Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. And today we're going to be looking at the brand new website that Spirit dropped. So if you've been living under a rock or something, Spirit basically released this new teaser that essentially revealed most of their lineup and like what their names are. I don't think it's all the lineup yet, just since it's only 15 props, and I think we'll get some more a bit later, but I think this is a good chunk of them. Now, as I said, they're just the names of the props, and, we don't have any, like, images yet, but we do actually have the prices of them, their names, and kind of their backstory, and I think this is a really good idea just on Spirit's part. Now, what I'm hoping will happen is that hopefully about every couple of days, new tombstone will, I guess, open and then the prop will be revealed. So it's kind of like sneak peeks. And hopefully they just don't all reveal at once on one day. I do kind of hope that this might be proper sneak peeks because there's no like timer or anything. So let's just hope for the best. But anyways, I think we should kind of start in order where Spirit lists them. And the very first one is the Black Heart. So this prop is called the Black Heart and is made by Crazy Create and is 6.6 feet tall. It's also retailing for $300, which is quite a lot. Now, obviously, we don't know what it does quite yet. But the tombstone says, "Here lies the black heart. Be careful what you wish for." And honestly, I have no idea what this prop is going to do. The story or the description for it is some like kind of like love story. It's kind of weird. It says like, "Be careful what you wish for." And overall, I don't really know what this prop is or what it's going to do. But if it has a price tag of $300, I'm hoping that does something crazy. But I don't know. The prices this year are not good. Honestly, that's like my only complaint. But I do think that this does have potential to be very good. The name sounds very intriguing, and honestly, this is probably one of the only ones that I actually have no idea what it's going to be. But I think we should move on to the next tombstone. Okay, so the next tombstone that we have is the Cauldroness, and it says, "Keep your kids close." And now, obviously, this is a witch prop, and I'm very excited for this as when was like the last time we got a proper, Spirit Halloween exclusive witch? It was quite a while ago. Now, personally, I'm not the biggest fan of witch props. I think they can turn out pretty generic. But I'm pretty interested in this one as it's $280 and it's 4 feet tall. Or I guess it's technically 3.9 feet tall. But you get what I mean. It's quite hefty price for something kind of short. So it is made by Techies. I'm interested to see what Techie has in store for this. I don't think it's gonna just be a generic witch. I feel like Spirit wouldn't do that. I might be completely wrong on that. But considering that it's only about 4 feet tall, it might have like some sort of pop-up motion. Maybe this is a pneumatic prop. I do think we're going to get some sort of pneumatic prop this year. Or maybe it's like servos. I don't know. But I'm hoping that does something pretty cool for that price tag. Because that is a lot. It said that the main ingredient, or at least in the description, the main ingredient she wanted for her potion was like your heart. So maybe it has something to do with that. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what this will do, but I'm pretty sure we can assume that this will be a witch prop. And here we go. Creepy Rising Doll is making her return for the 2023 season. Surprisingly, I think it's online only, which is really strange. I thought this would be in stores since, it's or at least it's listed as their main return, or main Flashback Friday, I should say. But I guess it's online only, which is kind of weird, but anyways, Creepy Rising Doll is in fact back, as I think basically everyone predicted. Still being produced by SVI. Something interesting to note is that its height is 5 feet tall, which I think does give me hope because there are a lot of shorter props this year and also a lot of tall ones, but I'll get to those later. So maybe like the shorter props pop up because obviously, 5 feet is its starting height. 5 feet, isn't its full extended height. So, but the description, obviously it's basically the same one as the old 2015 one. And yeah, I mean, it's Creepy Rising Doll. That's, I'd assume, the main return of the season. I'm still hoping that Pumpkin Nester returns, and he just hasn't been revealed yet. But I don't really have high hopes for that right now. I'd assume if he is returning, he'd be revealed, about now. But who knows? Maybe he is. I mean, I still think it's all lined up for him to return, considering it's Spirit's 40th and, it's his 10th anniversary. But I have heard rumors that they just don't have his molds anymore. So that could definitely be a reason why. But anyways, super glad to see that Creepy Rising Doll is making her return for the 2023 season. Okay, this next one might be really hit or miss in my opinion. This next one's called Dagger Mike. It's being retailed for $170. It's about 5 feet tall, 4.9 feet to be exact, and it's being manufactured by Crazy Create. And on face value, it's not really, you can't really tell what this prop is. I mean, its tombstone just says no more tricks. But if you actually read the description, it's like a little kid that has like a clown outfit on and two little daggers. And already this just sounds like Johnny Punk. I mean, just the beginning of the description, like how he was, he wasn't a normal kid. He like knives and creepy clowns, bugs. It's giving me kind of Johnny Punk vibes right now. So I hope that this is a much better version of that idea, and hopefully this isn't the, Johnny Punk of the season. But hopefully it's just a better take on the idea. But I guess only time will tell because honestly, I can't really judge the props too much right now because we still don't really know what they do per se, or what they even look like. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But that is Dagger Mike. I don't think he'll do anything crazy considering he's 5 feet tall and he is $170. So I think he'll have a bit more basic motion. I don't know if he'll be on a swing like Johnny Punk, but I don't think he will be. But I'm hoping that this is a better take on the Johnny Punk idea. Now, next up, I'm actually pretty excited for this one. This next one is called Darling Dolly. Now, if you remember the Halfway to Halloween teaser, she was actually teased a little while ago, but we now have a bit more details about her. So she will be selling for $280. She is 7 feet tall, and she'll be produced by Techie Toys or Techie Design. I have pretty high hopes for this one since, it's a 7-footer, it's made by Techie. It's not insanely expensive, but also I'm not quite sure what it'll do. There's like, it's kind of like Creepy Rising Doll, honestly. There was like a doll like buried in the backyard, and then like, there's like a whole backstory. I'll put the website in the description, so you can click on the props and read their backstories. But apparently there's this girl named Sally Smith, and she found the doll, and then like her mom got struck by lightning trying to bury it again. It's kind of a weird backstory, honestly, but it doesn't really explain too much about the prop. I'll go into the actual video that Spirit also teased a bit later, but the audio that Spirit played while showing this tombstone was the Lunging Lily's audio. Now, I don't know if this prop will have the same audio or if Lunging Lily's returning. Once again, I guess we'll just have to see. It's still kind of early in the season. Honestly, I didn't even think Spirit would do something as crazy as this, but I'm kind of glad they did. I think it's a good way of doing sneak peeks without, releasing every prop at once and, not revealing too much too early on at the same time. Okay, so this next prop tombstone we have is the Death Stalker. Now, this guy was also teased the halfway to Halloween teaser, and his tombstone says his hunger was insatiable. Now, I think we thought this was going to be some sort of werewolf at first, and I think it definitely still could be that. But at least in the description, it doesn't really say that he's a werewolf. It just kind of says that, he has like claws and he's just kind of a monster. And basically, he wants to like devour your nightmares or something. So it seems kind of more just like a normal monster. He definitely could still be a werewolf, but I think it might sort of be more on the line of just a kind of normal monster-like creature. His height is 7.3 feet, which is pretty dang tall. I mean, it's breaking the, 7-foot mark. And he's being produced by Fuyu, which is basically a sister company to SVI. So it'll be very similar to SVI. And his price is $280. And surprisingly, this guy is online only, which kind of sucks because at least I think his idea sounds pretty awesome. But it is kind of weird that they, this is one of the first props they teased, on the halfway to Halloween teaser, and he ended up being an online only. Coming in next, we have another techie design prop, that being this Modus. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's 6 feet tall, and it'll be priced at $230. Now, his tombstone says that he was just born mean, and that's kind of what his description says. But actually, if you search up what Desmodus is, it's like a vampire bat. So I think this might be some sort of like vampire bat humanoid like creature, I'm assuming. It says that he was like born deep in the caves of the rainforest. He kept getting hungry and he kept getting bigger. So I think it'll just be like an oversized kind of bat. I don't think it'll be a full-on vampire because I don't think that's the direction Spirit's taking. But I am pretty excited to see this guy. I don't think he'll do anything crazy, seeing how he's 6 feet tall and $230. I think that's kind of unfortunately, the average price for a Spirit now. But I am still very excited to see this because it's an actual unique idea that, it's kind of still reminiscent of that vampire theme. And it'll definitely go very well in a cemetery theme as well. All right, next up we have the 3-foot Eternal Rest animatronic. Now, what I think this is, I think it's some sort of statue-like prop. I don't really have high hopes for this, if I'm going to be honest, just because it's made by Sound and Lights. If you don't know what they are, essentially, they're the company that made Tombstone Tear, and that's one of my least favorite props of all time. It's being retailed for $140, and I think it's going to be pretty small. I think this is some sort of statue prop, as I said earlier, because she essentially like turned to stone, waiting for like her one true love or something. There's also like weird kind of love stories. It's kind of like the Black Heart too. So I'm not exactly sure what this prop is. I think it might be some sort of jump scare prop, but we'll have to wait and see. I do hope this one is cool. I hope Sound and Lights can redeem themselves with Tombstone Tear, because that was definitely more on the weaker side. I think this can definitely be better. This next prop is another flashback, that being the Grave Watcher. Now, personally, I already have this prop, and honestly, I'm not too sure why she's returning. She's definitely not very, highly requested or anything. But it was only a $10 increase from her original price, which isn't that bad. So right now she's being priced at $80. She's 3 feet tall and surprisingly produced by YJ because, the old model was produced by Pan Asians, but I guess YJ got the rights to the character now. But anyways, basically it's just the same thing as the old Grave Watcher. It's just a creepy little girl with candles. You can even see like a candle on the tombstone. It says forever vigilance. And honestly, there's not really a lot to talk about here. Just more of I'm not exactly sure why she's coming back. I kind of wish maybe a prop like Pumpkin Nester came back instead, but anyways, I guess here we are. Now, this next prop I'm pretty interested in is called Heckles, just Heckles, and it says, its tombstone says anything for the last laugh. It's being priced at $280. It's 6.6 feet tall, and it's produced by SVI. Now, obviously, this is a clown, and, we have another clown. There are a lot of clowns this year, but I'm not really surprised by that. But honestly, there are a lot of more unique characters this year, like the Black Heart. I'm super interested to see what that is, and like Desmodus. I don't even know how to pronounce that, so I'm not gonna try. But anyways, back to Heckles. At least just looking at the description, it says, he hustles balloons for a few bucks, and the balloons are filled with poisonous gas. I don't know if that'll be part of the character or not. I don't know if that'll be like part of the animation or something, kind of like nozzles vibes, honestly. But something that we do know is that he'll definitely have balloons, that's for sure. And we haven't really had like a balloon seller clown as a prop, at least from Spirit. So super excited to see what this is. And yeah, it's another clown, but I think this one could be unique if done right. Actually makes sense being a clown since, it's selling balloons. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen something like this from Spirit, just by now. Next up, we have the Hellspawn animatronic. And this is kind of like a demon-like prop, I'm assuming. This one is kind of weird to me, though, because it's only 4.9 feet and it's being retailed for $330, which is absolutely insane. This guy better, do my dishes for that price. But that's not even the worst price of the year. They get much worse. But this does give me hope, though, but just for the fact that it's only 5 feet tall and it's over $300. This guy has to do something insane. I'm assuming he might be a servo prop, or maybe this might be our pneumatic prop of the year. Because I still think we will get a pneumatic prop. I don't know which prop it is, but I think we will get one. But that would make sense considering its height and how expensive it is. But essentially what this is the tombstone says even the devil needs a hand, and basically all the story is he's like a side helper of the devil or something. Honestly, I'm not too interested in demon props, so I don't really care for this one. But he's being manufactured by Techie. There are a lot of Techie props this year, which I find quite interesting. They're one of my favorite companies, so I'm not really complaining. I think if I'm not wrong, I might be wrong though, I think Techie was making all the pneumatic stuff, at least for Lowe's, so just something to note. So this still could be a pneumatic prop, but this has to do something more than, just moving its head side to side, because there's absolutely no way it'd be priced at over $300 and 5 feet tall for that animation. So this next one kind of makes me laugh a bit. So this next prop we have is honestly the one I might be the most excited for, and that is Leatherface. Now, if you've been in the hunter community this year, you know that there's already two other Leatherfaces being sold at other like retailers. So there's the Gemmy Leatherface at Lowe's that honestly I think is probably gonna be the worst, and I would even bother with it since I'm pretty sure that prop it costs near $300. Then there's the techie one sold at Party City, which was actually literally revealed like almost the same. I think it might have actually been the same day that Spirit revealed all the stuff. So I think Spirit kind of did this to clash back at Party City. But basically, Party City, has a classic Leatherface look and is being sold by Techie. I do have very high hopes for that one as well. And then Spirit drops another Leatherface. This is actually what I predicted. If you want to know my full thoughts on that, check out my theories for the 2023 season. That was my most recent video. But this one is 6 feet tall. It's made by Party Time, which I think they can do a good job on it. But here's the very sad part. Its price is $350, which is absolutely crazy. It makes sense, though. I'm assuming this will be a fairly detailed prop. It might even have, like, servos or something. Actually, I don't know about that, but it is a licensed prop as well, so that always adds an extra price tag. And just in the description, it says that, once you hear the revving of Leatherface's chainsaw, so I'm assuming that means he might have chainsaw animation. I'm hoping, because I know the Lowe's one doesn't. Honestly, that Lowe's one just doesn't look that good. But actually, another thing about this prop is that it's actually not the classic Leatherface look. If you actually click on its page in the Spirit Hollow Cemetery website, it actually says Pretty Woman Mask animatronic. So I guess it's a Pretty Woman Mask variant, which is actually pretty interesting. And honestly, that's kind of unique. And in my opinion, I'm kind of glad it is this variant because, or else we'd have three, essentially identical Leatherface props this year. Although, considering that this is $350, I am hoping that, its detail is just absolutely insane. Just considering that Krampus is $350, and detail-wise, I think that may be one of the best licensed prop we've ever gotten. But considering that Party Time made Shorty, I do have high hopes for this one for sure. Okay, so this next prop is the 4.2 foot Poor George animatronic. And yes, this is another clown. But in a situation like this, I'll explain essentially what this prop is. I'm not exactly sure why it has to be a clown. I kind of ranted about this in my previous video, but I feel like there's always these super unique ideas that just get a clown kind of, I guess, theme thrown onto it. This prop has no right being a clown. Essentially, all it is a cable car, sliced him in half or something, and he laughs maniacally. And it's only 4.2 feet tall, which is also kind of interesting. But I do have high hopes for this one also. If they actually, do this prop right, it can be super creepy and super gory. Considering that he's literally chopped in half, I think this will literally go, one way or another. Because either, Spirit's gonna put no effort into the gore at all, or they're just gonna go absolutely crazy on it. But his price is only $180. So I'm assuming he won't do that much, and he is being produced by Crazy Create. So the whole idea of, him being sliced in half can be super creepy and honestly super terrifying. But knowing that it's modern Spirit, I don't think they'll, reach that image all the way. At least I'm assuming that's what this prop is, considering that you know, it says he stares down passerbys laughing maniacally, and a cable car slice him in half. So once again, very interested to see this. Not quite sure why it's a clown, but as Tombstone says, he was a good clown. Though his body survived, his mind was tormented. So that was Poor George, and let's move on to the next prop. Now this is another one I'm pretty hyped for. This is the Slim animatronic from Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and its height is a whopping 7.2 feet, so I already know this guy will be massive. He's produced by Party Time, which is the same manufacturer as Shorty, which I think is good because I think the outcome of him will look pretty good in that case. But honestly, the only thing that worries me about this prop is its price. I think this is the worst price of the year. It's a whopping $400. We have never, ever seen Spirit even touch that price range. Well, I guess, for their in-store props, I mean. They do have some weird, super, high detailed, online-only props. But that's besides the point. $400 for an in-store retail prop is insane. This guy better have hyper realistic details and just super good animation. Now something I do hope is that, I think this could use some sort of projection technology. As in the movie, he kind of had the shadow puppet of the dinosaur, so maybe he'll do something like that. But actually, we do kind of get a hint of, I guess, what, he kind of looks like. So I'll read it right now. So, with his signature bright pink clown jumpsuit, head of orange hair with mini balloons, and sinister smile, Slim is always on the hunt for any helpless humans he can capture to feed his crew. Equipped with this green popcorn bag he has in the film, get too close, you might just get shrunk and end up being the killer clown's next tasty snack. So just judging by that, it kind of mentions capturing, and that's kind of what they do in the movie. So I'm very interested to see what this guy does, and especially how he looks, considering that, this is a licensed prop, so I understand why there's that extra price tag. But $400 is absolutely insane. I guess he is a 7-footer too, but I am hoping that this is one of the best props of this season, and I think it definitely has potential to be one of, if not the best prop of this year. Now, the final prop we have for today is a 7.9-foot stilt animatronic produced by Party Time. Now, this guy has a whopping price of $350. He is almost 8 feet tall, though, and judging just by the description, it mentions that he is like a juggler, so that would be super cool if, the reason why this guy's so expensive is, he has some sort of juggling motion with bowling pins. I don't know how Spear would pull that off, since I feel like that'd be a very complex mechanism, but I guess we'll see. I think this can be a very good prop, but just in general, this year, the prices are absolutely ridiculous. I guess, to be fair, we don't know what they look like or what they do, but they are already super expensive, and it's just insane how expensive just normal retail props can be. Because I feel like in a couple of years at this point, you might as well save up for a distortions prop, since it's actually professional stuff. But also something interesting about the Stilts clown is that there's another one being sold at Lowe's, so I guess Spears is copying Lowe's this year or something. But anyway, so that was kind of the big drop we got yesterday, at least the time I'm filming this. Now obviously it's super obvious it's a graveyard theme. I mean, it's not even a theory anymore. But the only thing, honestly, I have to complain about this season, obviously, no props are released yet. But the main thing I'm just worried about are the prices and the fact that I don't see any barnyard butcher or pumpkin nester. Hopefully they come out, but it's not looking that good, honestly. But we will check out the teaser video real quick that Spirit also put out. So right off the bat in this teaser, basically all it shows is just all the tombstones we looked over. I don't think there's really any extra information here. However, the audio is actually quite important as we can hear a number of things. First of all, the camera goes to Dagger Mike's tombstone, and it just kind of sounds like a young guy laughing. Not as young as Johnny Punk, which is good, but hopefully, as I already said, that this prop does better justice for the Johnny Punk idea. And then probably I think the most interesting and most talked about portion of this teaser is Darling Dolly's tombstone, where we can actually hear Lunging Lily's audio. So now I still don't know if Darling Dolly just reuses this audio or Lunging Lily's actually returning. Either way, I'd be fine. I think Lunging Lily would make a great return, so I wouldn't be complaining. But honestly, I don't know because on the same tombstone, it's followed by a kind of more adult, like grown-up woman laugh. So I don't know if she like kind of transforms like creepy rising doll. I'm not exactly sure. I guess we'll just have to wait and see because, Lunging Lily's audio can just be reused. Like, I'm pretty sure they can just reuse it if they want. Or, could actually be Lunging Lily. I guess we'll wait and see. The next up it shows Slim's tombstone, and we can hear signature killer clown laugh. Then there's this kind of loud scream, which I don't know what prop it comes from. Then there's like immediately like clown laughter, because it just shows like all the other three clowns, Heckle, Stilton, and Poor George. So I'm not exactly sure which prop has that loud scream and the clown laughter, but I guess we'll wait and see. Now the next tombstone is Leatherface. That's just like his real name in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But actually it's kind of like silence for a bit, then right after it cuts you can hear his chainsaw. Then the tombstone cuts to next is the cauldroness, so you can kind of hear a laugh. And then it shows Hellspawn's tombstone, but it's kind of higher pitched than I'd imagine. But, I still don't know what that prop will do considering its price tag. I'm hoping it does something pretty crazy, though. And then it shows Desmodus, or however you pronounce it. You kind of hear bat noises, which honestly makes me really happy because when I first heard that this prop exists, I was scared it'd kind of feel like a possessed pumpkin situation. But fortunately, I think it just makes normal bat noises and doesn't like talk and try to be scary. Then you can hear Eternal Rest. It kind of sounds like she's either laughing or crying, and it could be either way. I think it sounds a bit more like her crying, at least in my opinion. And as I said, I think this will be a jump up prop, considering that's being made by Sound and Light. And then once again, another super interesting one. It cuts to Black Heart's tombstone. You can hear a pretty deep laugh for this prop. So as I said, I don't even know what this prop is, honestly, and definitely one of the ones I'm more excited for. And then finally, closing off the video, we can see and hear Creepy Rising Doll's laugh and her tombstone. So that was the crazy website drop release. There's also kind of a mystery box that Spirit gave out to some haunters as well. And basically, that was kind of the crazy day. I'm hopeful for this Spirit season. Obviously, the prices don't look good. But honestly, all the animatronics look very interesting to me, and I'm very excited to see, what like each and every one of them do. But I'm hoping that actual sneak peeks will happen this year. There's no timer by the looks of it, so I think there's a pretty good shot. We get normal, like, weekly sneak peek releases. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to like, subscribe, share, and of course, goodbye everyone.